Welcome to, I guess, a bonus episode of the Queen's Table podcast. I'm your host, Marissa J, and today we're doing something a little bit differently. I like to switch it up, keep you on your toes. So I don't really know when this is going to be coming out, but Wednesday's episode, I ain't gotten some notifications, some DMs saying that it was kind of hard to listen to, had some audio issues in that episode. I'm gonna take it down and clean it up at some point in time, but I guess until then, enjoy this bonus episode. Yay! So what I wanted to hop on here and talk about is just a little bit of geography, just a little bit of world history, and some things to maybe kind of sort of look out for next year. I actually, you know what, I'm gonna take that back. Mark my words, okay? There are going to be 3 major countries making major fucking moves in 2022. Okay, we just gonna hop right on into it, all right? Because ain't no time for the bullshit. So, these 3 countries are China, Russia, and India. Now, you may be wondering, what the fuck do all 3 of these countries have to do with anything? A lot. A whole lot. A whole lot. They're gonna take over everything that we had been doing, America had been doing. And then you gotta ask yourself, where does that leave America? But we'll get into that, I guess, later. This may or may not be a 2-part episode. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. So let's get into it. Let's start off with Russia first, okay? Because Russia be getting into some shit. So right now, what's going on with Russia is they are in the middle of doing some fuck shit again. All right, I don't know if you guys know this or not. If you guys remember, back in 2014, there's this huge debacle over Russia beefing up their security and their armies and everything, super close to Crimea. And Crimea, which is not a part of Russia. So all them motherfuckers over there, they're like, hey, you getting like really close to us, personal space. Y'all need to back the fuck up. What are you even doing here? Why do you have military people here? Like, what's going on? And the whole time Russia's like, yeah, we ain't doing nothing. We're just, expanding our training practices and stuff to different areas and locations. America gets involved. America like, yo, what you doing? Russia, like, back the fuck up. You a little bit close, to Ukraine and shit. And Russia's like, yeah, no, it's fine. It's okay. We're not doing nothing. We're not doing nothing bad. Well, next thing you know, they annexed Crimea, which means that they took Crimea. This is the first land grab since World War II. Okay? The first major land grab in Europe since World War II. So, and then Obama was president at that time. And of course he was like, yeah, like if you do this, we gonna come down on you. We're gonna put all these sanctions on you. And we did. I mean, we did put sanctions on Russia. And we kicked them out of the G8. That's why it's now the G7. And all of this, that, and the third. But they didn't really care. They didn't really care like that. It wasn't as big of a punishment as we had hoped for it to be, I suppose. It's kind of like whenever you ground your kid, if you got kids, or if you don't have kids whenever you were a kid. You know how your mom will like ground you from like one thing but not anything else. Like, okay, you can't play video games, but you can still watch TV. You still got your laptop. You still got your cell phone. You still got your tablet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still got all these other things, but you can't play video games. Like, okay, well, there's other things to do. Or better yet, there's other ways around it. You can still play video games on a computer. You can still play video games on your phone. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was kind of like that. And we just kind of just let them take Crimea. Now, you may be wondering, well, what was so important about Crimea? Why did they want to take it? Well, pull your map out and take a look at where Crimea is located. So, like, right there in that location is like the perfect spot for naval bases. So that way they can, you know, be on the lookout for any fuck shit coming on the waters. Because technically, okay, so like, I guess so if somebody really had a bug up their butt about it, they could launch ships into the Black Sea and go straight through Crimea, through the Ukraine. Ukraine and Crimea would have helped them too, because they're not part of Russia. And then boom, goes the dynamite. There goes Russia. That was kind of like a weak point in their strategy of war stuff. So just look at a map. Look at a map and you'll see, and you'll be like, oh shit, like that's right. That would have been a weak area if Russia didn't have control over it. Now that it does, then it's like, okay. But they're claiming, yo, we just did this for protection. We just did this because we want to protect our borders. And, you know, like we're not doing nothing different with Crimea. Crimea could still be Crimea, but we're just going to take over and make sure that ain't nobody on some fuck shit. And after they took Crimea, Putin came out and was like, yeah, I lied about it. The fuck you think I'm going to do? Tell the truth? Like, no, we were trying to take it. Yes, absolutely. Now that we took it, I can say that. But while we were trying to take it and before we had taken it, of course I wasn't going to tell you. Like, what the hell? Yo, at least he's honest about it. But so now they're doing the same thing in front of Ukraine. That's a problem. Why is that a problem? Because the U.S. is allies with the Ukraine. Yeah. So ever since like World War II, well, really not since World War II, 1990. Okay. So back in 1991, that is when the Soviet Union was dismantled. So like the Soviet Union was fucking huge. Okay. That's, you know, Stalin had control over the Soviet Union, all of that. So the Soviet Union used to be, okay, the Russian dominated Soviet Union. So obviously Russia, okay. It was Russia, Ukraine, Georgia, Belarus, Uzbekistan, Armenia, some other words that I can't pronounce, Kazakhstan, I can say that one, Moldova, Latvia, and a bunch of other words, countries that I can't pronounce. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because that's rude, okay? It's just rude. But you can Google it, do your Googles, and you'll see all the 15 countries that comprise the Soviet Union. Well, since the Soviet Union fell in 91, every Russian president since then has been trying to get it back, right? So Vladimir Putin has been president over there since what? Like the early 2000s? He's been, I think, yeah, since 2000, I believe. Because he's been president for 21 years. It's 2021. So, yeah. See, yeah, since 2000, I guess. I don't know. Do your Googles. So he's been president over there. And he's really been trying to reunify the Soviet Union. That's been like all of their thing. That's what they want to do. They want to unify it. They want to make it bigger. Well, not bigger, but how it used to be. And if they take Ukraine, it'll be a whole lot easier for them to go back and take all the other countries that they used to have. Okay? Because the way that they see it is like, yeah, y'all are Russians. You don't know you Russians. You think you're not Russians, but you really Russians. Okay? That's how the Russians feel about it. So they're just trying to take their shit back. Right? So even though, you know, there are whole separate things going on in each of these countries. Armenia is not the same as Latvia. It's not. I looked it up. It's not. They're not the same. They're not the same. So they on some fuck shit right now. And Biden gets on the horn with him or with Putin, was like, yo, if you start doing this shit, we gonna do the sanctions on you again. And Putin was like, we don't really give a fuck about sanctions. Y'all said that last time and look, we fine. And so Biden's like, no, we're going to do more than just sanctions. And Putin's like, what that mean? And Biden's like, you know what that mean. And so now we're like, is this World War III? Like, can somebody just say if we're going to war or not? Is this for real World War III? Here's the thing. This ain't World War III. I know it ain't World War III because ain't nobody's No, Russia don't want them problems. Not right now. Not before they take Ukraine. Okay? We don't want them problems. With as weak as our economy is right now, we don't want them problems. This ain't finna be World War III, okay? What they're doing right now, what Putin and Biden are doing right now, they both pumping up their chests and they playing Russian roulette. Here's the thing. Vladimir Putin is Russian. He gonna pull that motherfucking trigger. Okay? He gonna pull that motherfucking trigger. He gonna do what he needs to do to get to where he wants to be at. It may not be by means of weaponry, bullets and cannons and shit. It may not be with bombs. It might be technological. They could shut the whole fucking grid system down and make the Ukraine dependent on Russia to get everything back online again. Like that, I mean, there's plenty of different ways that you can wage warfare. But I really feel like that's what they're going to do. They're going to find some kind of way. If the U.S. makes it impossible for them to do it, to take Ukraine one way, they will find another way to do it. Russians are smart people. Russians are smart. I don't care what anybody say. Russians are smart people. Okay, they'll find a way. They'll figure it the fuck out. They figured out how to live in the motherfucking negative 35-degree weather for eons. Okay, they'll figure this out. They had it before. They'll get it again. So once Russia takes back all of these countries and they're the Soviet Union again, what does that mean? That means that they're going to become a world power that is equivalent or stronger than the US. Let's move on to China. So China got problems. Do you understand me? China has problems. Okay, So the big thing right now is that the Biden came out and was like, yo, if in protest to what you guys are doing to the Uyghurs, BT dubs, it's not just the Uyghurs that they're committing mass genocide on. It's the Uyghurs, it's the Tibetan people, it's the everybody in the Gobi Valley. Listen, we're gonna get into that. The Gobi Desert, we're gonna get into that. But just keep in mind, it's more than just the Uyghurs out there that are being persecuted. So moving forward, but Biden only addresses the Uyghurs. But anyway, so he's like, yo, y'all are committing, acts of war crimes or whatever. Y'all doing some fuck shit. So we're not a part of it and we don't want to be a part of it. So we're not going to send our officials to go over there. And see, I can't remember the exact term that he used, but basically he's not saying that government officials can't go over there. It sounds like that's what he's saying, but that's not really what he's saying. What he's saying is, like, every Olympic games or whatever, the heads of the countries go over to the host country, and like the president will shake hands with the host country's president, and like the vice president goes to like a game or two, like one of the first games or whatever, and then everybody goes home. Like, it's literally a 3-day trip. And Biden's like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Okay. Here go China response. China said, well, y'all didn't have an invitation to come over here anyway, so we good. And if you really think that that's going to impact our economy, first of all, this is the Olympics. That means that all the countries can come. All right. So missing out on the president and the vice president being here, that's not going to put a dent in our pockets. We good. We're good. We're good. And it's not even, they're not even saying that like I said, they're not even saying that other government officials can't go. They're just saying that they're not going to go. But what they're hoping for is that other government officials say, yeah, well, we're not going to go either. That's fucking stupid. The biggest U.S. embassy in the entire world is in China. So yeah, they're gonna go. Okay, like they're gonna go. It don't mean nothing. But you got China over here like talking mad shit, saying things like what they said. We hope that President Biden This is not a direct quote, BT dubs. Paraphrasing here. We hope that President Biden is around long enough to see the 2024 Olympics come to America. Now, what does that mean? Are you making fun of him because he's old? Or are you making fun of him because you know that his ratings are down and he's probably not going to be anywhere near them Olympics? You know what I'm saying? Like, he might want to be going in hiding because somebody might lose in 2024. Is that what you're saying? Or are you making a threat? We hope he's around? Or we hope not that they didn't say we hope he's around. They said something. They said something along the lines of we hope that he feels great or some shit. I don't know. Do your Googles. Look it up. Look it up. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they said, but it definitely sounded like a threat to me. It sounded like a threat to me. So it's like, what you saying? What are you saying? Now that alone by itself, you could easily pass that off as, oh, well, you know, maybe they just on some fuck shit or whatever. You know, they over here talking shit or whatever. But then you look at other things. You look at the propaganda that's like all over China. And then you take a look at the highest grossing movie in China right now is a movie about the U.S. being the bad guy and Chinese forces going in and saving the day against the U.S. military. It's a propaganda film that makes the United States look absolutely atrocious. Now, that's not to say that we're not, but they're making themselves look, you know, painting themselves in a lighter picture too, not addressing the atrocities that they commit to their own people. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. We're both bad. We're both bad. We're both bad. Okay? We're not just as bad. We're just bad in our own rights. In our own ways. Okay? Just two shitty ass countries pointing fingers at each other. Russia's like, we know we should. No, let me not say that. Listen, let me not say that. I don't want them to come. I don't want them people coming knocking on my door. You know them people. I don't want them people. I don't want them problems. But basically, it's all of these countries acting a fucking fool right now. And they're doing it because they know that America ain't finna do shit. We're not about to do anything. China is on some next level fuck shit right now. Like, them and Russia have been like buddy, okay? They used to have problems. Let me tell you, let me spill a tea. They used to have problems way back in the day because China helped the Ukraine get away from Russia or the Soviet Union. But they smoothed all of that over. I guess Xi Jinping was like, yo, Putin, I hope you get Ukraine back if you can help me fuck over the U.S. You know what I'm saying? Let's team up. Meanwhile, Vladimir Putin just made his 19th visit to India with, I'm gonna mess up his name. I'm gonna mess up his name. He the president. Listen, I'm about to do my Googles right here on the spot, and we're not editing this, okay? We're not. We're just putting this out. So let me get in here and do my Googles. But President, what the hell his name is? Hold up. The Prime Minister of India. I'm not going to try to pronounce the first name. I could if I worked on it for a minute, but we don't have the time. But the Prime Minister Modi, who has his own issues. Okay, we're not even going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. I guess, like, because this is going on 20 minutes now. And I don't know, maybe this is going to be a part 2. We'll get into India. We'll get in more into India, I guess, in part 2 and what all of this means for 2022 in part 2. We'll get into that later. But Modi and Putin have met 19 times. He's only been to India 21 times. 19 times he's met with Modi. And the visit was cut short this time. I think they said it was only like 5 hours long. So like it was like a real, real cute meet and greet. And yo, what's up? How the kids? How they doing? Eat some mac and cheese or whatever they serve over there in India, and dip on out. But the public statements that they were saying, like, yeah, Putin was like, yeah, India is a great country, and Modi, my homeboy, and we be kicking it, and they're great. They've shown time and time again that they are great friends, or something ominous like that. Like, listen, they are buddy. Do you understand? They are buddy. So, with Putin making moves, Modi over there making moves too. We'll get into that in part 2. But Modi making moves. Okay, Xi Jinping been making moves. Xi Jinping don't give a fuck about nobody. He is really trying to expand that Asian empire, that Chinese empire. What's crazy? Oh, I said I was gonna get into it. Let me backtrack. Rewind. So, not just the Uyghurs. The Uyghurs are like, they Chinese Muslims, okay? So what they're doing is like they're trying to wipe out everybody that's not like traditional Chinese, Buddhist. So they're just trying to like wipe everybody the fuck out. You either convert or you die, just like the Crusades, okay? So it's not just them. They're going all the way. If you look at a map, bring your map out, guys. Bring it back out again. If you look at a map of China, okay, and you split that country in half diagonally, starting from the top right and going all the way down to the bottom left, you split that country right in half. On that bottom half, what is it, like 96%? No, 94. It's 94%. No, it's 96. It's 96. 96. I'm trying to remember. I believe though it's 96% of the Chinese population lives there. That's where Beijing is, and that's where all of the good the stuff. Okay, but you look at that top half. That's where the Gobi Desert is, and Tibet, and all of that. That region is damn near inhabitable. Okay, 4% of China's population lives there, and it's slightly bigger than the lower half. So you gotta ask yourself, okay, well, why come nobody live there? Well, like I said, that terrain is, you can't live there. You can't live there. You cannot live there. So one of the reasons why China is has always been a superpower is because of their location. If you go too far up, you can't live out there. That's why Russia says they're prisoners to Siberia, because that's what's north of China is Siberia. You can't live in Siberia. If you survive Siberia, then you're not even human. Like, that's when the KGB recruits you. Like, okay, you can survive through anything. This nigga can't die. So that's when the KGB gets you. But so yeah, like, ain't nobody trying to go to Siberia. Nobody goes there to live a life of luxury. Okay. So down part from that, you've got, the uninhabitable areas of China. To the left, if you're looking down on the map, to the left of that, you've got all of these fucking mountains, right? These big ass, high ass fucking mountains, right? They go up so high, you can see it from space, but also they go up so high that the clouds can't get on the other side to release rain, right? So like, you've got desert-like conditions. Okay, the whole area is so fucking crazy. Like, legitimately, you could go from like 120 degrees in the daytime and all the way down to like -60 at night. like in the same fucking area. You could be in one spot and experience that drastic temperature change. It's crazy. You can't live there. You can't, even if you get used to the warmth or you get used to the cold, you still got to get used to the opposite. Because, and listen, that is definitely a place to go when you're trying to catch a cold. Okay, you can't live there. You'll catch a cold. So you've got that going on to the left. To the right, you've got the Great Wall of China, which, you know, of course, that was like the barrier or whatever. So like they got all of these places to where they can like really, and then the bottom half of China, that's where all the ports and shit is. So like the whole fucking country is surrounded. Like you ain't getting in. You ain't getting in. Okay, that's a fortress right there. So then you're thinking, okay, well, if all of this top part of it, if it's uninhabitable, then why do they hold on to that? Well, several reasons. Okay, so Tibet is part of that area. Just keep that in mind. Tibet is part of that area. And of course, you know, you hear about Tibetan monks and stuff. They go out there to do their thizzle and whatnot. So, you know, folks, just leave them alone over there because they ain't bothering nobody. But they're part of the group that's being persecuted as well. So just keep that in mind. But all up in there to go be in Tibet and all of that, there is what they call them, glaciers. Okay, so there's like this big ass reserve of fresh glacier water. Okay, untouched. All right, well, ain't been touched in a minute, rather. Okay, and a lot of that comes down from Siberia, but like it's its own thing. It's its own reserve. Okay, so you start thinking about natural disasters or, you know, shit that can happen to the whole fucking planet that will, you know, leave a lot of people displaced and a lot of people hungry and a whole lot more people thirsty. Okay, they can hold on to that. They can hold on to that reserve and be like, this is for us and our peoples. So, taking that into consideration, I feel like, you know, just feeling some buck shit's happening. I feel like Russia is like, yo, you got this big ass reserve. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe through technology, we can, you know, join forces or some shit, or maybe like stay separate because, you know, both of them was on some Hitler-esque shit. You know what I'm saying? Like racial purity shit. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe they'll stay separate. I don't really fucking know. India's right there next to China. They like, yo, big dog. Yo, big dog. You know, we got some good shit too. China got oil. India got oil. Russia got oil. If these three teamed up, that can spell some serious disaster for the rest of the world, but especially for America, because we have been the world's bully for the last 150 years or so. We've been bullying motherfuckers, sticking our nose into all kinds of people's businesses. And the world hasn't really been great for that reason. I mean, like, it's really, if anything has changed, folks just learn how to be more sneaky about their shit. So maybe it's time for somebody else to come in and take the reins. Maybe it's time for that. You know, a lot of what we see and hear in mainstream media, and maybe I should have put this in the second one. I'm gonna shut up here pretty soon, I promise. But I think that a lot of what's being displayed in mainstream media about these countries to us as Americans is the same thing that's going on over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever hear the saying, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter? You feel me? You got to have both sides of the story. Nobody just out there killing motherfuckers just to be killing motherfuckers. There's a reason for it. You know, they're not just knocking off Uyghurs and Tibetans for no fucking reason. There's a reason for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to cap for them. I'm not siding with anybody, with any of these motherfuckers. Because honestly, I've been saying this and I'm going to keep on saying this. I really just feel like we just need to tear all of these systems down and start from a resource-based economy. But, that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about that right now. I feel as though we aren't getting the whole story and they aren't getting the whole story. Russian people aren't getting the whole story. Chinese people ain't getting the whole story. Indian people aren't getting the whole story. We're not getting the whole story. And so we're all just side-eyeing everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, or really it looked like the rest of the world is side-eyeing us. And I feel like, the only reason why they didn't jump beforehand is because Donald Trump is a loose cannon. That nigga was loose cannon. Do you hear me? So they was like, we don't know what the fuck he finna do. He could buy us dinner. He could press the button. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't fucking know. So we just gonna sit back and wait. Because you notice Putin wasn't trying to do nothing with trying to take Ukraine when Trump was president. I'm not saying we want Trump back. I'm just saying when you got a loose cannon as the head of the country, you're probably not gonna fuck with him. They still laughed at him behind his back and some folk to his face. But they at least knew this nigga is crazy. We don't know what the fuck finna happen. We see how he treats his own children. What makes us think that he won't say, fuck everybody, I'll kill us all? Meanwhile, we got Biden over here, too scared to really do anything. Where was the vice president Joe Biden? That dude was always ready to fight. He was always ready to go. Who is this nigga in office right now? Who is this? He's not doing anything. He's not doing anything. He's talking a lot of talk, but there are no actions to back it up. None at all. Now, see, I could have told you this from Jump Street when we realized that he wasn't doing anything to forward the black agenda. He fucked us over. He finna fuck y'all over too. We could have told you that. And now we're seeing it for ourselves. He ain't finna do nothing. Not finna shut down the country again. Just gonna let folk die. Still not gonna give us accurate information as to what is going on with this panini outside. And don't give me that shit, oh, well, viruses change and blah, blah, blah. We still don't know what the ratio is between getting these vaccines and these antibodies that you get whenever you get the actual virus. We don't know the ratio. They think it's 90 days. But for somebody that exercises, that eats properly, is it 120 days? For somebody that goes out and eats fast food all the time, nothing but soda pops, don't drink no water, don't go for no walks, somebody like that, is it 60 days? And if so, how you know? What tests you run and who you run them on? Did they know that you was running tests on them? That's another motherfucking... Listen, I'm gonna end it right here because here we go, already 30 minutes and I'm tired of talking and I'm tired of hearing myself talk. I'm just being honest. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. All right, I'm tired, but we'll come back for part 2. I don't know, in a couple of days. I really don't even know when I'm gonna release this. I got the messages. Yo, audio is off. It's very hard to listen to that. Okay, all right, I'm gonna fix it. But in the meantime, here go this. And yeah, that's it for part 1. Bye.